Hi, as most of you guys know, my name is Freddie, and I go to an art school in, so I'm a theater major, and this past show that my theater class and I have done is called the Lucretia Society. And basically what it is we all got together and we thought that we would bring something to the table that really hasn't been done before. We're an all-women theater class, so it's kind of hard to find a show where a girl doesn't have to play a guy or there's no guys involved at all. So finding a show like this, or actually I should say making it because we did write it ourselves, was a blessing in disguise. And basically Shakespeare, who if you don't know who Shakespeare is, there's going to be a little bit of a problem here. He wrote an epic poem called The Rape of Lucretia, which is based on a true story, which before Rome became a republic, the king's son raped a woman named Lucretia, and instead of fighting it herself, because they would kill women who were raped back then, she ended up committing suicide in front of her father and her husband and a whole bunch of other important people. And they fought it, which caused the downfall of Rome, and Rome became a republic, and without Rome becoming a republic, we probably wouldn't be one either. So, now that the background is done, again, we wrote the show ourselves. We used about 15 minutes in the beginning of actual Shakespearean language, and then we wrote modern day pieces like monologues and scenes to kind of like fill in everything. And I'm basically making this so that people can start bringing rape to the table and trying to stop it. A fact that was kind of thrown around in our class was every 2 minutes, I believe, one woman is raped. So those numbers are pretty large for a day. So I'm going to share with you my monologue, and here we go. So I was watching Oprah, and she had this poem listed in her book club that caught my eye. The Rape of Lucretia by Shakespeare. I immediately read the poem, and she was me. She was raped when her virtue was what she had held dear. And she didn't keep quiet. She spoke up with her tragic suicide. If only I could speak something so loud, because she was everything that I wanted to be. She changed the world, and I wanted to as well. So I started writing this blog, the Lucretia Society. Pretty soon, women all over the world were sharing their stories with me. It was nothing less than invigorating to know so many women wanted to speak up about the catastrophe that they had faced. It was therapy for me, the therapist. My name is Mackenzie Marchagasi. When I was 16, I was raped by my boyfriend. It was pretty dreadful dealing with the aftermath, but I had no choice but to focus on my schooling. I graduated high school a year early and went to Stanford on a full scholarship to study psychology. That kept me busy enough not to think about him. Then again, regardless of how busy I was, he was always with me. His monstrous shadow followed me everywhere. The memories, the sweaty palms, the raspy voice, and that sticky feeling that he left me with. Like I could never shower enough. I couldn't even sleep without screaming. For a while after starting my new job working with teen girls who were also raped, I never thought of him. Then I thought that I was beyond it. I started to believe that the girls I worked with could make it through because I had. Little did I know, it was all denial. You're never really over something like this. Truthfully, I still had nightmares, and I still couldn't shake him. I began to realize that I was suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder. My therapy became my poetry, which I shared in my blog. One night I decided to share a poem at a coffeehouse reading, and I'll never forget that poem. Oh, agony. I can't open my mouth to cry. This was a huge fault. Can't protest. Feeling like my cheek is stitched to my gums, silencing me. I can't defend. I can't speak up. After I was finished, I really had no idea what had come over me. I started talking about my blog, and by the end of the night, there was a tip jar filled to the top for donations to make my blog into a real society. I've become Lucretia. My story changed the world. Women everywhere speak up every day, their rapists feeling the wrath of cold metal bars slamming behind them, never to be opened for good. And rape becomes the 16-year-old that I used to be. So, thank you guys for watching. That was my monologue. So the background of my character is I was a therapist who was raped, and I actually started the society that titled our show, the Lucretia Society. And all the other people in my show kind of join it, and even if they weren't raped or knew somebody that were raped, we kind of all came together at the end, and we showed that like everybody can work together and we could get this job done. And that rape is a really high crime, and it's not something to be messing around with or making fun of, or I can't even think of the word, encouraging. So not only women can be raped, so boys and girls, keep that in mind. And if you ever think that you were raped, or if you didn't say yes to somebody, please go and get help. There's tons of people who are here for you, including me. If anybody needs to talk, I have an ask box. So, thanks for watching, and I really hope you guys enjoyed it. And please reblog this so that we can get rape kind of known, and maybe when my class makes this into a real society, we can get some of you guys to join, and we could really help this growing problem. Bye!